Hey guys, it's time for Breakthrough with Coach Lou. Coming to you live from Accelerate Life University, XLR8Life.com. Coach Lou will help you break through anything that's stopping you. Are you ready to get the motivation, the energy, the life, and all the success you really want and deserve? With no further ado, here's Coach Lou.
Good morning, guys. It is Monday morning. Welcome back to Breakthrough with Lou. It's time to rock and roll. Monday is upon us, guys. It is April, which is spring, best time of the year for some. Some people think the best time of the year is summertime, and others think the best time of the year is fall, and some people love the winter. And you might be going, well, it's part of the deal. We get a little bit of all of it each year, or depending on what state you're in, you get a lot of one or the other. I'm talking about the seasons of life, right? Which is your favorite season of life? And when you look at that, you go, wow, most people it's summer because it's playful and it's fun. Some people are like, I like the fall. I'm rewarded and reaping. Some people are like, I like the spring. It's the fresh, the new, and the new beginning and the chance to start over. And some people like the winter because it makes them stronger. And you go, well, which is the best season, Coach? I don't know, you tell me. That's as personal as what color underwear you wear. Now, that's a joke, guys. So seriously, it is April 10th right here, 2023. You're live with me here on the Breakthrough with Lou show, or if you're listening on a podcast, you're live and listening. And we're ready to rock and roll. So my question for you this morning, have you ever said, something's got to change, something's got to give, I can't take another effing minute of this, right? Have you ever hit that rock bottom point where it's like something's got to give? I can't deal with this job, this business, this relationship, my neighbors, my friends, my family, my marriage, whatever it is. Have you ever hit that rock bottom moment where you go, I can't take it anymore and something has to give? I think we all have at one point. Let me tell you, if you've ever made a change in your life, sure as shit you've done this. Because most of the time in this world, we are pushed into a position where you're backed in that corner, there's nowhere else to go but out, or you're flat on your back, rock bottom on the ground, and there's nowhere else to go but up. Okay? Have you ever had this position, this feeling where it's like, I've hit bottom? Okay, a lot of people who have had addictions or alcohol issues will tell you this too, that, nothing changed until they hit bottom. Okay, and maybe you're in a position, let's look at this, your business is kind of, it's struggling, the economics are tough and everything else. Do you want to have to hit rock bottom and go bankrupt before you can go forward? What about your relationship? Maybe you've been in your relationship 10, 12 years and you're kind of like, oh, it's just not what it was, but I really want to get it back. I love my spouse, but we've been together a while, and do you really want to hit rock bottom and have to get divorced to have a good relationship? Okay, these are some of the questions I ask you, and you go, well, Coach, you just told me a lot of times you got to hit rock bottom before you can go up. So let me ask you a really profound question. Just what, if you created your own rock bottom, then waited for you to absolutely sink to rock bottom or have somebody push you to rock bottom before you make the change that you want? Hear me on this, okay? I'm going to ask that question again. What if you created your own rock bottom rather than waited for that rock bottom? And you might be going, doing the scratching head sound going, what does he mean by that? Let me tell you a little story, and you may have heard this before, and I'm going to keep this short on the story side because you may have heard it before, and number two, it's not overly relevant, the story, to what I'm talking about, but it really is. It was my health journey, okay? So what was the deal there? I don't even remember how many years ago it was now. Somewhere around 2004, I was sitting in the doctor's office, and he read me this death sermon in 10 years, telling me I'm going to wake up holding my chest, and I'm going to be having a heart attack, and I'm going to drop dead because my cholesterol is high. Well, wasn't all that was high. My weight was 55 pounds heavier than I am now today. My cholesterol was stupid high. My triglycerides were stupider high. And I was feeling really cruddy and crappy. But you know what the problem was? And the challenge is people were reassuring the behaviors I was doing by coming along and tapping me on the belly going, oh man, making the money. You're getting the success belly. Oh, you must be in love. Oh, you're a new daddy. Oh yeah, that happens. When you have a kid, everybody eats more. You eat with the mama. Every excuse in the book. But you know what? It wasn't bad stuff. It was relating this bad health situation and this bad weight situation to good things in life. Must mean your relationship's good, must mean your businesses were good, your finances, your success, you're being a good parent. What, by being fat and unhealthy and dying early? Was I really being a good parent? Was I really being good at everything I did when I felt like an old man? I'd get done doing an auction and I'd get off the block and I'd be like, oh, ow, oh, God, I'm sore. Oh, I'm so stiff. And, sitting on my butt and flying in airplanes and driving in cars all the time and just puffing out. Now, you might be sitting out there going, I'm 200 pounds overweight, dude. I'd be healthy as all hell if I were only 50 pounds overweight. That's not what I'm trying to compare here. What I'm talking about was that journey of why I didn't hit rock bottom until I was sitting there in that doctor's office and he's writing all these little, here's a script, here's a script, here's a script. This one's going to eat your liver. This one will help, the pain from your liver. This one will help the pain in your joints from the one that's eating up your liver. But your cholesterol will be lower and you won't drop dead of a heart attack. You'll just need a liver transplant someday. Whatever the case is. I'm being really sarcastic, but I said, stop, doc. I said, I'm going to this Tony Robbins event in Chicago this weekend. And I'm going to learn on day 4 all about health. And I'm going to show you. And he's like, yeah, okay, take the medication. Writes them anyway. Says, yeah, you'll fill these. You're not going to. I said, all right, you give me 30 days when I get back. And if I can't, get it down 10, 15% every 30 days, we'll talk about the medication. All right, I'm not totally 100% hard-headed where, my way is the only way. So I get back, total transformation, really transform my eating, my exercise, get a trainer, the whole 9 yards. Now, granted, a lot of people would have said, well, that knew me then, were like, well, you weren't fat, you had a gut. You weren't like huge and, but regardless, because I did a little exercise and stuff. I was not, just slovenly, but it was not where I needed to be. So needless to say, I get back from this thing. I'm really driven. I'm motivated, very strict. I'm not going back to that doctor in 30 days. I need some more time. I stretch it out about 60, 65 days. I get back there. Unbelievable results, okay? And he's like, wow, the medication, I've never seen it work this good. And I'm like, I didn't take it. And he goes, yeah, this medication. I said, doc, listen to what I'm saying. I didn't take the medication. Well, this is impossible. Okay, and I'm like, all right, so results are there. I mean, the blood work don't lie. So his words to me were, I still think you should take the medication to be safe because you're genetically predisposed to this. Yes, do I run genetically a little bit high on the cholesterol and that? Yes, still to this day, a little bit, but not like I was from eating horrendously and everything. But the whole point is, this is not a dietary sermon this morning. My point was, I hit that rock bottom. I pushed back really hard about it. And what happened, I made the change. So then life goes on, and you slide a little bit back and forth, and there were times it would creep back up and back down. The thing that changed is my rock bottom threshold was no longer till I was sitting there getting the threat of death, basically. It was, all right, I did my annual blood work or my semi-annual, and it's up 10, 20 points. I gotta slice it down. I gotta exercise a little bit more. I gotta cut back on some of the sugars and stuff like that. So I had a new standard, okay, for what I was willing to settle for. Okay, so this, alluding back around, telling you a lengthy story, which I didn't want to go too in depth. I could tell that story for 2 hours because there's a lot involved in it and a lot of mental and emotional and physical shifts, but that's not today's topic. My point is to wind back around to what now is my rock bottom is a whole lot different than what it was then. My rock bottom is very close to where I need to stay. Boom, I changed by 5 or 7 pounds, something's got to give. Well, now at this stage and everything else, I have more of a problem keeping some weight on than I do losing weight, okay? And losing weight is not very difficult for me, but making sure I'm maintaining muscle mass and so forth. So different challenges you got at different stages and so forth. But my whole point was I readjusted that rock bottom from way down here to right here. So when I go, boom, I slip, all right, that's my rock bottom, not woo, splat. Because the further your rock bottom is down, the harder you're going to hit. Okay? Metaphorically, but true. Don't give yourself that much room to fail out and screw up. A little bit of wiggle room. Yeah, you can't be so rigid that it creates stress in your life, because that's bad for you on your health level. It's bad for you on your emotional. It's bad for the people around you because you're a pain in the ass. All right, no, seriously. All right, so I'm going to teach you what is change. What is the basis of change? This is what I promised you on today's show or today's training or today's podcast, wherever you're watching this. You might be on YouTube. Send me some questions. I'll make sure I get to them. Same thing with Facebook. And we're live always on accelerate-life.com/LCTV for Life Coach TV. I prefer that you watch me there because I can more effectively handle our comments on that site. But I do have the alternative ones open. If you're watching on one of my pages on Facebook, I can't respond to the chat on those live. You're on my personal page, yes. All right, so long story short, what has changed? Number one is changing your standards. That is exactly what I've already explained to you with that story. My standard used to be way down here. My optimal was way up here. I brought them together, and now right below my optimal is my ceiling of my standard, where it's like there's no going back below a certain point. Yesterday was Easter. Fabulously amazing Easter. We got up, went and had breakfast, went to church. We did that in the reverse because breakfast was crowded enough as it was. Church was amazing. It was kind of on the way we were doing our New Year, New You series at the beginning of the year. Pastor was talking about new you and, new starts and, new comprehension of things. It was amazing service. Then we got together with friends we really haven't spent enough time with. And we don't spend enough time with them. They're like family, love them to death, love their kids like, they're my nieces and nephews, they got boys. It was such a great day to spend with them that it was like, wow, that was great. Did I eat right? Hell no. Did I overindulge? No. But, I was like, this morning, I was like, oh, my stomach's talking to me. And I was like, you know what? It's okay. It was one day. I got all 7 days of this week to re-clean that back up. Okay? Just because you did bad one day and do super bad, but just because you do bad one day doesn't mean your whole week is fried or your whole month or your whole life. Yet that standard, I went, boom, and bounced right back up because the standard's up here, not down here. It's not like, oh, I eat like this most of the time. Ba-boom. Oh, ba-boom. No, I'm boom, right back to it this morning. Celery juice, rebounder, yoga, coming to you live right here from the studio. This is what juices me. And so my whole point is that standard kept me there. Now, okay, so standards is your first baseline, nice baseline, because you can't go back below it really, of change. The second thing is action. You can have all the standards. You can go, oh, I am this. Then you got to go, oh, I walk this. Kind of like in the sermon yesterday. You can say it. You can say, new me, new relationship with God, new relationship with your Creator, however you call your Creator. I'm respective of that. New this, new that. You can talk it all day long. And you got to talk it and see it, but then you got to do it. Hey, I'm going to give up eating processed sugar, which is something everyone should do. It's not a person on the face of this earth, my friends, that processed sugar is good for. Okay? So I'm going to eliminate or minimize to this amount. Okay? But then you got to do it. You can't be sucking down a Snickers bar while you're saying it, or munching down on Cocoa Chow Pebble cereal and going, I'm going to give up sugar. I'm going to slow down on toxins in the food. I'm going to go to Starbucks and have coffee and talk about how I should be doing organic toxin-free coffee. Can't do both. You got to do something. You got to take action. Okay? So this is really cool. This is cool stuff. So, all right, now you got this new standard, okay? You've created a standard. I hope you're thinking of this, and you're going to do the little bit of homework when we're done with this. But then you do the action. You're doing it. You're doing it, baby. And then you have a day you get knocked sideways, and that's called a zag day. So what do? You get right back on the road. If you are driving on a mountain highway and your tire catches the edge and you go doo-doo-doo-doo and you see the edge of the road and get back on, you go, whew, all right, I had to readjust there, because you don't go, all right, I hit the edge of the road. I'm just going to drive off the cliff now just because I, came close. Come on. We're not. And I know you're going, Coach, I'm not stupid. I'm not saying you are. But I can't tell you how many people do that. I'm going on a diet. They're doing really good. They have a bad day and they just, that's it. I blew it. You've been doing good for 60 days. You F up for one day and you're going to just quit? What if you were a smoker and you hadn't smoked in 2 years and you were out bowling or hanging out with your friends and you took a puff off a cigarette and went, oh God, that's gross, probably. But would you go, oh, I'm going to go buy a pack tomorrow because I screwed up and took one puff? Come on. We really, guys, this is what I'm talking about. This is taking that action, getting going. Now, the next thing, and the third nail into the framework here, is to understand change versus transformation. Change, my friends, is automatic. And we're going to do this whole month is going to be on change, and we're going to kick into the next level next week. But see, if you do nothing, you're going to go backwards. There is no neutral. You never stay in one place. Either you're moving forward or you're moving back. Now, you might be moving forward really fast or really slow, or you might be moving backwards really fast or bit by bit, but you never just stay in the same place. Okay, so you always have to be doing something to grow, take action, go forward. Does not mean that you never throw up your feet on the ottoman and kick back and take a breath and relax. That's okay. That's still taking an action to reduce stress. You see, when you start to look at the things that and go, sometimes inaction is action. There's people that just continue to go. They get home and they're, wiping off a little spot on the counter and they're doing this and they're doing that, but nothing major is getting done, but they just can't take that minute to take action, to breathe and let it out. Okay? Not saying you're going to sit around and om and breathe all day long and yeah. But my point to this is you've got to transform what you do. Transformation versus change. Change is automatic. If you do nothing, something's going to happen. You're going to go probably in the wrong direction. If you take little action, you're going to get little reward. If you take a massive action, you're going to get a whole lot better rewards, right? So what is transformation? And sometimes things change for the better without you focusing on it. You know, you work a little harder, not going, I'm going to work harder. You just put a little more effort in. You start going, wow, things are getting better. You know, really, well, there's some change there. But transformation is this very similar to the goal setting process where you decide exactly what you want. You map out how you're going to get there. And you take that massive action, you monitor it, you adjust as necessary, and you make sure that you are transforming to something that you are becoming as you, as a person. Transformation is not only about what you're getting or creating in the situation, it's what you are becoming. It's who you've become. You've transformed from being somebody who's lazy, sitting on your butt, eating tons of sugar and feeling like you can't move to, somebody who's out running OCR races or exercising every day, or now you're teaching a yoga class or an exercise class when you couldn't even make it through one a year or two ago or something. That's transforming into something better for you, a better person, a better leader, a better parent, a better lover, a better spouse, a better business person, a better whatever the case is. That's transformation, because that's the key to it. Is what is the change giving you and making you become? That's where transformation is a very calculated process that has a real win at the end. Change just for the sake of change, hey, okay, things can change. I'm going to change my income and it's more. That's a better thing. But if you lose your morals and do some really dirty stuff to make more income, that's not transformation. That's changing probably for the worse in the long run, rather than transforming into a better person, which maybe you're making more income because you offer better service to your clients or your customers or the world, or you're doing something that has meaning. And those are the things. Would you like a tool kind of to be able to do this with? I call it the measuring stick, okay? And you can buy them at any hardware store. No, but seriously, the number one measure you're going to want to measure is your standards, 1 to 10. What is your standard for your body right now? Honestly, throw it up in the chat if you want to. If you want to be honest with me here, 5, 6, 2, 9. All right, that's a big difference from a 2. And now, I'm not picking on you about the 2 there, but I kind of am. You need to step up. What is your standard for X? That's number 1. Write this down. What is my standard for? And rate it 1 to 10. Number 2, this is 2 parts, 2A and 2B. What is your level of current action? Okay, if your standard is 2, your level is probably 1 or 2. If your standard is 9, you probably have somewhere between an 8 and 10 level of action that you're taking on that standard. And then the 2B is, what would be needed to really get you to a 10 on that standard? And then number 3, what are your current results? What are your results if you take it up to the notch of the level of where you need to be to get there, to get to that standard of 10? And then say, is that change or is that transformation? Answer these questions. Do this homework, guys, because it will make a difference. Next week, I'm going to join you on the show. We're going to talk about how to take control of that change. How do you control that transformation, I should say? How do you take control of it? Some things you got to say yes to, some things you got to say no to, okay? Because a lot of people tell me, I just don't have the time. You have the time. You just have time suckers. You have time leeches. You have things you say yes to that you should say no to. Give me a little preview of next week's show. But seriously, what are the things that you're going to need to control to facilitate these changes and transformations you want? You got to tune in next week for that, guys, because again, being respectful of your time And it is Monday for me too. I'm not going to tell you Monday's my easiest day of the week. It's a very productive day of the week, but I have a very jumpy start to my week. I get Monday, get on fire. Tuesday, I'm contracted out elsewhere. And Wednesday morning, I'm contracted out elsewhere. So I kind of get my week flying, then I get boom, yanked back into, a world where I'm on somebody else's time schedule for a couple of mornings, which is not horrible, but it does constrict. So you start to go, what do we do here? How do we make this work all the way around? So I have a drive both mornings, and I'm like, this drive's a waste of time. I could look at it that way, but I go, no, it's rolling university time. Let me listen to an audiobook. Let me listen to one of my own shows and go, did I really get my point across? How could I teach better? How can we do this better? Or sometimes I just listen to music, or sometimes I listen to YouTube funny blooper videos of newscasts that went wrong just to put myself in a better mood. See, those are actions that are very different that serve an end result of what I'm looking for that day. If I'm in a mood on a Tuesday morning and I'm like, I don't feel like dealing with this traffic, I might put on the funnies. That way I can deliver the best when I arrive instead of going, oh, I'm in a mood. Oh, that traffic. Oh, this takes up so much time, and change that mindset. Or I can go, ooh, this is a great, 30, 45 minutes on the road to, I can get 2 chapters into this book that I'm reading and reviewing and excited about. And instead of thinking about that 45-minute waste of time to drive, I'm thinking about what I'm learning. I'm focusing on something new. Do you see where you can shift things? And because you might be saying, hey, coach, all right, your challenge of the week sounds like, how do I take these 2 mornings? Now, it's not all bad. It's an integral part of what we do in our business and that. And, and I enjoy what I do. However, it's a locked in time frame I'm not in control of. So don't get me wrong. I'm not going and showing up for something I hate to do or don't want to be at. But it isn't convenient for me in my time schedule. I would rather do this at different times during the week than Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday morning. But that's not within my control. I can't provide that service on a different day. So how do I maximize so that I'm still transforming into the next level, still growing, and still can go deliver at 100% for somebody else to go, hey, I'm still showing up present, not showing up in a mood because this isn't my optimal schedule. You see what I'm saying? And you can use this at work. Maybe you're working 40 hours in the same place each week, and you're going, how am I ever going to start a business when I'm stuck going in there 40 hours, 45 hours a week, and I have an hour commute? And well, maybe you could do a live on your commute in and start building your audience for something, or, marketing your business outside of just the job you have. See, these are things that I offer you as different options to be transforming instead of giving yourself 101 reasons why you can't. Okay? That's the cool part. So and it's not my term, it's Tony Robbins' term, net time. No extra time. It's an acronym where you do something, maybe you're like, I got to clean the damn house after these kids because no one else is going to do it and we can't afford a cleaning lady. Okay. Well, maybe you put in your headphones and listen to something motivational. Maybe you listen to an episode of Breakthrough with Lou on Spotify and get some education while you're doing it, or something else, or, spiritual music, or whatever you want to do, that you make that an experience. Maybe you recruit your kids to help and make it a family experience. You see where you could always take and transform something up to the next level when you raise what? Your standards. When you have a new standard for anything you do, that is the baseline for what we talked about. Standard, action, transformation. SAT. We give a whole new word meaning to standard action transformation. Those are the new SATs, guys. Remember the SATs from school, or maybe your kids are taking them right now. What if that was what we taught our children instead of, just the square root of X equals Y equals Z, and the kids are going, I don't know what the F I'm ever going to use this for. I remember I hated algebra. The times I need to figure things out that requires some algebra, yeah. There are algorithms and stuff like that matter to me now, yes. Did it matter to me then? Hell no. I had no idea that I would use any kind of algorithms or anything when I got older. I was like, this is BS. If I had been able to relate it and transform it into something that I could do. So maybe we teach our kids, okay, you know what the SATs are preparing you for standards, actions, and transformation. So once you take that test, you can look back and go, is there anything in there that would raise my standards? Is there anything I could take action on that I just learned that's actually useful in an SAT? Maybe 80% of it, no, but maybe there's one or two things where they relate and go, wow, I could actually use this. And then how do you transform that into something useful? It is not the 100% of the information. It's not 100% of what I've said to you this morning that's going to make the difference. It's that one or two little distinctions that you go, well, I kind of got never looked at it. Let me try that. Let me do this. Let me implement this. Let me actually do some action today. I've been sitting around saying, I won't settle for that. I, blah, 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 blah. But what have I done? Oh, okay, that thing Coach said about action today, I'm going to do that. Or, you know what? I get the change versus transformation. Now I'm going to use my measuring stick. I'm going to start to put this to use today. That's maybe 2 minutes of our discussion this morning can make the difference out of the 32 minutes we've been on together. So, and yes, that means I'm a couple of minutes over what I slate for this. Guys, I know you got to get to work. You got to get to work on your businesses. You got to get taking care of your family, get the kids to school. I encourage you, if you missed last week's show or the week before, get over to XLR8. It's XLR, the number 8, life.com, and catch the replays. There's so much material on there. And it's useful. It's not, each week doesn't go by and the material fades away. These are things, they're building blocks, and more. My goal is to give you segments and, this month of what we're going to focus on. So you can go back and go, I need to jumpstart my health. Oh, H1. I need to jumpstart my time planning. Oh, yeah, we can talk about, we go back to the months of that. Or the new, I can't say it. I got a new course coming out. I can't release it yet, but it's going to be a good one that's going to help you really get your life into the organization and managing your time, but not just managing it, but creating it where your time gives back to you. It's great. Anyway, all right, live with faith, energy, passion. Always live your dreams. And I will see you next week, and be ready to rock and roll, guys, because it is going to be a great show, and I'm looking forward to it. Be blessed. Live with faith, energy, passion. Always live your dreams. It's Coach Lou signing off. Have an amazing day, my friends.
Ready to take it to the next level? Tune in to XLR8Life.com for our live shows, encore presentations, life-changing courses, and live coaching with Coach Lou himself. As Coach Lou always says, live with faith, energy, love, passion, and always live your dreams.